Greetings, y'all. I'm going to give a couple minutes for everyone to get here. In the meantime, for the benefit of those watching the recording, we will do our quick disclaimer. I am not a medical professional. Nothing I say is meant to be medical advice. Everything that I say is simply my opinion, and nothing is meant or intended to be recreated by anyone else other than myself. I'm also not a licensed financial advisor. If I was to mention anything regarding investments, currency, securities, etc., is simply my own opinion, not intended to be investment advice. And I'm also a law-abiding citizen. I would never break the law. Anything that I say that may be illegal, not that I intend to say anything at this moment. It is simply for entertainment purposes and not in any way an admission of this. That being said, we got our first couple people showing up here. Welcome, Eli and Mattias. How are y'all doing? Sorry if there's a little residual noise. I might step outside in just a minute, but it's kind of cold, so I'm warming up before I go. But over here, using the high-speed internet, the local coffee shop, so hopefully our stream and video quality are slightly improved over our last stream, which was in the middle of the woods, but shockingly enough worked really well. That being said, does anyone have any questions or topics that they'd like to discuss? Oh, welcome, Melanie. We got 4 people here. We're trying to get a room together. No rush on the questions, I guess, because I'm sure it'll take about 5 minutes or so to get the room up to full speed. Oh, what is this little button? Does that make me prettier? Oh, whoa, there's a filter button. Should I filter myself? Sorry, I'm just experimenting with these. Oh, bubbles. Nice. I never noticed this. Oh, this is pretty good. I could stream like this. Bo cheese. Is that my homie? I think it might be. What up, brother? I heard your parents are visiting my parents right now. Or soon. Something like that. Okay, I'm done playing with the filters, you guys. Nice. Bro, if you roll out, let me know. I'll dip back to Vegas for sure to see you guys. For sure. I'm out in Oregon right now, so I'm a little ways away, but I've been meaning to come back and do some organization with my storages and stuff. So. I would say I'm more in like central Oregon, not too far south, but not all the way up north either. I'm in Yakutsk, if you've ever heard of it. It's pretty cool. Little beach town. Welcome, Pro Wax. How you doing? It's all good, Noah. You're not late at all. We're just barely getting started. We're almost got the room up to speed. We're probably going to see if a couple more people show up here. Yeah, Oregon's cool. It's a little bit overcast a lot and it rains a lot, but it's beautiful. I wanted nature. Don't get more nature than this. There's trees everywhere. I realized though that boot dryers are like a necessary thing here. So definitely, if anyone ever plans on coming to Oregon, invest in some boot dryers. Otherwise, your shoes. I brought 5 pairs of shoes, and they're all wet. They just don't dry. It's like you can leave them out for a week, and they'll still be wet. You know? Thank you, ProWax. Yeah, the hair's super curly. It's a little frizzy today, but there's plenty of it. Sativa trees, indica trees, hybrid trees. Yeah, that is true. There's quite a lot of trees here. There's all types of stuff. They're quite open-minded in that regard over here. I actually haven't been partaking too much lately, but I'm happy to know that the option is there if I decide to stick my hand in the cookie jar, so to speak. Oh no, where did everyone go? We lost some of our people. Oh, there we go. They're back. They're back. So what do you guys want to talk about? I was just watching this video about maintaining your sexual energy. And it was extremely enlightening. I don't know if I'm allowed. Is there some way I could? Oh, I can't. I was like thinking maybe there was some way that I could like do a video and video where we can watch YouTube videos together. That would be a cool feature for YouTube. YouTube, if you're listening, make that happen. What's up, Joey? How's Oregon been? It's been good. It was a little struggle to do my work at first on the computer and stuff, but I got my laptop fixed, so I don't have to plug in my other computer anymore. So it's been a little bit of an improvement in that regard. It was a long drive. Actually, I don't know. I thought I was prepared for such a long drive, and it wasn't that long at all because the I-5 is just such a great road. I drove at night all the way up to, I think like Shasta, and then, so I didn't get to see much from the Bay to Shasta, but waking up to Mount Shasta and continuing the road from there, it was just so beautiful. It just flew right by. Welcome, Ron Von Bergen. Tips for body dysmorphia. I don't know. I guess it would depend what kind of body dysmorphia you have. Overall, it's definitely, I think, going to benefit in all cases to become comfortable within your own body, but I don't know if I have any good tips for body dysmorphia. Maybe I used to have body dysmorphia. Like I used to be like really like into the gym thing, and even when I was like 200 pounds, with the lowest body fat I've ever had, I still never really thought that I was that big. So I don't know, is that body dysmorphia? Other than that, I don't really have much experience with it, to be honest. Welcome, Swag. Is my hair dyed? No, my hair's not dyed. Why does it look different? It's kind of, it's always, the thing is, it depends on the light, because my hair kind of naturally has like 3 different colors of hair mixed in. You know, it's like I'm like kind of like a tri-color hair guy. And I was platinum blonde when I was a baby, so I'm not really sure how this worked out. I like somewhere like met in the middle where half my hair is blonde and half my hair is brown, and a little bit of it's actually dark also. It's kind of weird. And I'm sure at some point there might be a gray or two. I don't know. At what age did I start making adult content, and what did make me start? I started making adult content at 23, and it was because I was in prison for 4 years, and I was very sexually like pent up and repressed in a way, and it was at a young age from 19 to 23, which are some very hormonal years, and I just really wanted to catch up on all the sex that I missed out on, and I thought the porn industry would be a good place to start. So that was my initial reason, and it just worked out really well, and then it kind of just turned out to be my thing, and I just was, seemingly quite good at it, so I kept it up, and I have definitely caught up on whatever I missed out on during those 4 years, so I have no regrets. And then Swag says, Bruce, when you live stream, you should set up donations. I don't know how to do that. I do have a Cash App and a fundraiser linked on my bio. So if anyone does want to donate, I'm just living off of a little bit of residual income from my scenes right now, and it's not from all my scenes, it's just from the ones that I own, so it's not that great, to be honest, and I'm definitely trying to get to Asia so that I can learn more about this spiritual whole thing. But yeah, no pressure there. It's more than welcome, but not required in any way. My hair looks nice. Are you gonna trim it if it gets too long? Keep it the same? Well, I'm just gonna let it roll. I think that I don't know if it had anything directly to do with my advancements, but I suspect that it could have something to do. I do believe that it's actually functional regardless of what a lot of people think. I think that it's an extension of our nervous system and possibly like gives us some type of enhanced perception. And also it's, I'm just interested to see what it looks like when it's done doing this. You know what I mean? You have to be monetized by YouTube to get donations. Okay, so check this out. I'm at 1,490 hours. So we usually get about 30 hours on one of these streams, not including the recordings. So I would imagine that after this stream, we will be at the official halfway mark. So because we need 3,000 hours. So also, if anyone does feel like it, feel free to share the spirituality playlist or any playlist from my page, and if you can get your friends and stuff to listen to it, it's like a 15 or 16 hour playlist that adds up quite a lot. And also, even if you don't feel like listening to 15 hours of me, go ahead and play it while you go out and do your laundry or whatever you gotta do. because that definitely will help me get there faster. Hopefully I'm not breaking any terms by saying that, but I'm sure they'll let me know if I do. Let's see, we've talked about technology in the group before. What's my opinion on technology nowadays? Well, I think that it's just mainly a tool for control, surveillance, and according to Elon Musk, soon it will be a apparently they think that they're going to somehow replace universal consciousness with artificial immersions of consciousness between people. So yeah, I'm not really super fond of the technological thing, but it is from it is. Have you cut out alcohol and caffeine from your life? If so, what were some of the improvements you saw? I did manage. I cut out alcohol. I didn't really see much improvements there because I never really was a huge drinker. Caffeine made a huge difference. I've since then relapsed on caffeine, but I have been weaning down again, and I'm going to give it another shot. I'm also free from cannabis again, and I'm currently practicing semen retention. So we'll see if all this stuff can come together and make some big differences, but for sure I would say the most profound difference was giving up the caffeine. It's also the most difficult, painful, and long process of all of them as well. I mean, I literally slept for like a month, and I was awake for maybe like 5 or 6 hours a day after I quit coffee. And it took a whole month to start getting to where I could wake up again. What are my thoughts on the Neuralink microchip they're putting in people's brains? Yeah, I think that they're trying to replace universal consciousness, and I just don't see. I mean, I get what he's saying about data being restricted by inputs, and that removing the input will increase data flow tremendously. But I certainly don't want any microchips in my brain, and I also think that it's a travesty for mankind that we've allowed them not only to poison us to the point mentally, physically, spiritually, that we can't, that it's, I shouldn't say we can't, that it's very difficult for most people to connect to that source. It's making a lot more sense of why they did it now that they're trying to introduce a artificial version. So I'm not a fan of the Neuralink. Have I ever smoked cigarettes, and if so, for how long? I wouldn't say I've ever been like a long-term smoker. I've smoked a few cigarettes in my life. Not really my thing, I guess. I did smoke a lot of blunts at one point, so I always used to basically mix it with cannabis. And I did that for many, many years, but I haven't consumed any tobacco for quite a long time now. Welcome, Jessica, Anime. Why do I want to leave adult content? It just, doesn't necessarily, I mean, there's a lot of reasons. One thing is I want to be on my own schedule for when I'm having sex. I don't want to be on someone else's schedule. I also, while I have no problem with having sex, I don't necessarily want to orgasm, especially not just whenever somebody else wants me to. So that's a big hold up. And when I take those things into consideration, with how much they actually pay me to do it, which I'm sure to some people it sounds like a good amount of money, but you know, at my current rate, which I think is way too low for what they're asking me to do, especially considering that I have billions of views of my content now. It's not enough, and already it's too high for most production companies. So there's just like a major disconnect there on a lot of levels, and it's just not worth it. And also there's like some weird bacteria, mycoplasma going around the industry. I managed to dodge that bullet, and then I've been tested for it multiple times, so I definitely don't have it. And I want to keep it that way because, you know, I have a little bit of knowledge in the field of microbiology, and mycoplasma is a very, very insidious bacteria. It's extremely small, hard to diagnose, and extremely rapid to develop resistance to antibiotics. In fact, the only two antibiotics that work on it currently, and one of them is losing strength fast, is azithromycin and I forgot the other one. It starts with an N, but the azithromycin is not so bad, but it doesn't really work that good anymore. It also has to be they use a combination therapy where they soften it up with doxycycline first, I think. And doxycycline is super hard on your body. Azithromycin's macro whatever, I forgot, but it's a broad spectrum antibiotic, and so it just really destroys your microbiome and stays in your body for a long time. So you know, I'm really conscious about microbiome and like the, you know, how important it is to have a diet-specific biome in your stomach, especially if you're doing, being very particular with your diet. And so I definitely don't want to risk having to take antibiotics. And then the moxifloxacin, which is what they usually use in combination with doxycycline, is just like a horrible drug that just destroys your body. Like, so I just don't really want to risk having to be exposed to not just the bacteria, but the actual antibiotics in the case that you are exposed to bacteria. So, you know, the other thing is that azithromycin is something that they use for other stuff in the industry, like chlamydia, for example. And, while I've never had it, a lot of people do get it in the industry. And, the dose that they take for that is less than the dose required for the mycobacteria, and also without the doxycycline to soften it up first. Azithromycin is basically at that level going to always be insufficient to clear the infection. So that being said, it's literally only a matter of time before people in the industry end up breeding this ultra mycobacteria that's definitely going to be resistant to azithromycin, and I wouldn't be surprised to find out if it was resistant to moxifloxacin as well soon. I might be pronouncing it wrong. And that's just an extra piece of the reason. It's not the primary reason, but I mean, there's just so many reasons why I don't want to do that. And I'm not that I'm trying to trash all my skills or efforts that I put in all these years. Like, I'm still interested in pursuing knowledge in the field of tantra and sexual wellness and things like that. But I'm just not trying to be exposed nonstop to just a bunch of random girls in the industry whenever they feel like hiring me. Plus, there's only a few companies that can actually afford my rate, and it's just not really enough to like support me. Not to mention that I've saved literally like tens, or should I say dozens upon dozens of terabytes of content over the years, and I think it's just time for me to liquidate that content, see what all that ends up equating to, and perhaps investing those funds into something that's more in alignment with my spiritual practices and my interest in tantra. So we'll go back to the chat. Have you ever tried any workout diets or workout supplements? I have tried both of those things. I don't take any supplements anymore. I try to avoid eating anything out of a plastic bottle. I don't trust like almost any of that stuff. Like, unless it's like an herb that I ground up myself and capsuled up myself, I really don't trust it in general. In fact, I don't trust the medical industry like at all, and less so the supplement industry. And my homie says, yeah, dude, been watching the show Black Mirror, and they ain't putting any chip in my brain unless it gives me superpowers. Bro, they might try to tell you it gives you superpowers, but I would still not put it in your brain. You can actually get superpowers 100% for sure by not doing that. Do I do any sports nowadays? Not really, no. I mean, I hike a lot and play with my dog a lot, and do mobility exercises and stuff like that, but I'm kind of on another page now, you know what I'm saying? What's up, Jesse? Jessica, is it okay to ask to show your eye color? It seems greenish. Well, I actually have a rare genetic eye condition more than a color. They do contain green, but I have a condition called central heterochromia, which means that my eyes have a completely different color around my pupil than the rest of my iris. So yeah, you can see my eyes. It's hard to, I don't know if the resolution is good enough to actually see, but there's actually a close-up picture of my eye on my page on Instagram if you want to go see what I'm talking about there. Adriani, what's up? Who's lying here? Eli, talk more about my personal life. What are my plans for my future life? I think I've said this a lot, but I don't make plans, really. I try to form a trajectory of, where I think I'm gonna go, but I don't actually make plans beyond, a day or two usually in the future, just because I never know if the future is going to exist. I don't know if I'll still be around. I don't know if the earth will still be around. I don't know if the weather will change. I don't know if a war could break out. I don't know if there could be a flood. So my power, my superpower, one of them, is to remain ultimately flexible. Now, there's something that's called spontaneous synchronization. You should go check it out. There's a video somewhere that shows this effect in a more material way, but by maintaining flexibility, you're able to manifest things on a multitude higher level. So what you want is as many different axes of flexibility as possible while maintaining a small amount of resistance. And so if you maintain a small amount of resistance and remain ultimately flexible, what you can achieve is something called spontaneous synchronization. Now, there's an experiment that shows this where it's got a little swing and it's on 2 wheels, and they put 3 or 4 different metronomes on the swing, and they start them at different intervals. Okay, and what happens is at first they're just banging all different on the same rhythm, but all differently, right? At 3 different rates, right? But since they're on this swing that has multiple axes and 2 wheels under it to offer a very, very small amount of resistance, after a certain amount of time, what happens is those metronomes will sync up. Very cool. And that is, to me, a perfect example of manifestation and how remaining flexible on as many axes as possible helps increase your ability to manifest on a multitude exponentially higher level. So that's my tactic. I'm nothing against anyone that likes to make plans. I'm not saying you're doing anything wrong, but if you want to have a magical level of manifestation, flexibility is the key. So for that reason, I don't believe in making plans, at least not for myself. Anyway, I can't tell anyone else what's right for them, but I don't mind telling you how I operate. But feeling older in comparison to when I was 20 body-wise, I did at one point, but currently no. I actually feel so good. I have no joint pain. I still feel strong. I wake up every morning like, like strong, stabbing myself in the ribs even. So, like even for the last 3 nights, I've had very intimate dreams. I don't really actually feel, I guess when I was 20, I was in prison. So I probably was actually feeling much worse when I was 20. I feel much better now. What are my thoughts on weed? I think it's bad for people's health and body. I think everything's about how you do it and why you do it. I don't think it's inherently bad. In fact, I believe it's to some extent an ambassador of the plant kingdom to humans. And the reason why I say that is because it's producing a chemical which we have receptors for. And the reason why we have receptors for cannabinoids is because our body produces cannabinoids. Now the level of cannabinoids most people's bodies produce is not much because their chakras are blocked. And I don't know which chakra the cannabinoids come from, but basically each of these nerve centers in your body produce different kinds of chemicals, right? And cannabinoids are one of them. And the downside to chronic cannabis use is that your receptors get used to such a high level of sonorous of outside of cannabis that it dulls your receptors. So the levels, so when your body releases cannabinoids, you don't notice. So now if you do it occasionally because you're trying to, because you want to, use it as like a plant medicine or a spiritual aid or something like that, that's completely different. I think it's very effective for something like that. In fact, for me, one of the things that I've done to convert my addiction weakness into strength is that I used cannabis heavily for so many years that my cannabis receptors have become extremely sensitive and probably more plentiful. And sometimes when I'm totally sober, I'm actually able to meditate myself into a state that is like being high as a kite, like really visual, as if I just, smoked weed for the first time in a year or something, like really super intense, almost like a little trippy, right? So it's one of those things, like you gotta, I think that there's a time and place for everything. I think it's also a really good like aphrodisiac. It makes connection between people in an intimate way. It adds to that. So there's definitely a lot of case uses. I just don't think that it's something that you should do so often that you get a tolerance. Like if one hit will take you to another level, super high level, like that's perfect. That's like where you want to be. But you don't want to, you either want to refrain entirely and learn to produce these chemicals yourself, maybe try it once to know what the feeling is like so that you can try to produce that feeling yourself, or just don't do it at all, But definitely don't allow yourself to develop a tolerance. It's something that I have struggled with, and it's made a tremendous impact on my life every time that, for the positive, every time that I've quit. So, I don't remember I don't understand what this person said. If anyone wants to translate that, go ahead. Jessica, you made it. What's up, Miss Jordan? Adriani says, remember lies from Mexico? You was different. Now you are better, I think. Yes. I was definitely in a different frame of mind. I mean, I'll tell you what, my whole life has changed in the last 2 years. I was actually really sick when I went to Mexico, and that was what actually started me down the spiritual path, is that I received some kind of energetic healing when I was in Mexico, and that just not only healed me, but triggered so many different things. It might have taken a couple of years for them all to come together and form from there, but once your body starts unblocking chakras and going through its regeneration process, it's just amazing. Have I felt anything change in my life when I do things such like no fap? Yeah, I mean, I actually was just watching a whole video about that I'll post into the Telegram chat later. So that I found a video that was extremely insightful on that, and it explains so much of what I've experienced. But I think that if you want to grow spiritually, no fap is essential. Now, that doesn't mean no sex. That just means no orgasm. And some people might think, well, that's no fun, but actually it is, because you can do it for a lot longer time. And your partner can have many, many of them, which for me brings me great pleasure to, feel my partner doing that repeatedly over and over and over, Well, we got a hater here. Oh wait, you deleted it. How do I put I'm off the channel together. a child for review. Oh, we got this person and yet another person. I always feel so bad for people that like are in such a low vibrational plane of existence that they actually have the energy to go out of their way, to go online and insult a random person that's going out of their way to be or at least attempt to be insightful for people. It's really, really, really sad that so many people are stuck in that frame of mind. I only imagine that that type of thought process comes with a tremendous amount of pain and shame, and I truly hope that these people find some kind of peace. Thank you, Jessica. I am definitely happy to share. Joey NB is here. Is it used medicinally a lot over there? Oh yeah, it's. Well, I don't know if I'd say medicinally. They say that it's medicinal, but it's literally. I mean, they sell it on every corner in California, and there's even more of them here in Oregon. So, the cool thing about Oregon, like in California, you need to be like in a city, and there's a lot of places selling it. But here in Oregon, you can be in any little hodunk town. I don't know if that's a real word, but any little, country town, and there's going to be like 2 dispensaries in that town. It's crazy. Makes it really hard actually to not partake, but I actually haven't been, so that's cool. Let's see, was it in the adult industry that started my spiritual journey, or was it things outside the industry? It was that started it. It was something outside the industry. It was, I got very sick. I thought that my health was just failing. I'm not 100% sure why, but I went and seen, or I knew previously somebody who was she used to be in, she's been a spiritual person for a long time, but they do this Kundalini activation process, and I did that, and it basically started my healing process. And then after that, it was, after that it was just kind of one thing after another. It started off kind of spaced out a lot, and then it just skyrocketed all of a sudden. So I don't know, all in all, it was a multi-years process. It started in like 2022. So all the stuff that we're talking about, if you don't get like instant results, just stick with it. I'm telling you, like, it's real. I'm not bullshitting. I'm not trying to waste anyone's time or pull anyone's leg or try to, have nothing to gain by manipulating anyone in this regard. So just stick with it. It might take years, it might take a day, I don't know, but it's worth it. It's like the most worth it. Privet Artem. It does. It's insecure. It's all low vibration. Yeah, they're. It is what it is. Like if we have compassion for them, it's the best thing that we can have, because they need it. They need it more than most. Do I like caffeine? That's my favorite drug. I mean, I love caffeine. It's another one of those things that, if you don't have a tolerance to it, it works amazing. Like when I got totally clean from caffeine, like I went 4 or 5 weeks without it. I drank a coffee after that, and I was awake for 2 days. So, what's cool about not drinking coffee is maybe you have friends or something that aren't so, elevated and still like to party and do party things. Well, it's really cool to, while everyone else is drinking and doing other stuff, you can just have a coffee and be like 10 times more wired and like up than anyone else around you. It's like the best drug if you have no tolerance to it, but it's just so addictive. And for that reason, I don't actually appreciate it that much, because I also feel that it's extremely damaging to your heart, and it blocks your heart chakra from opening. Or should I say, I would say, yeah, well, I think that, but it also dampens it. Even if it is open, I just think that it's really bad for that particular energy system. And there's a lot of reasons to not be addicted to caffeine, even though it is probably one of the best substances, like as far as narcotics go, available in the world. Adriani loves the new B. Love you too, baby. Let's see. Got a lot of trolls in the chat today. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. What's going on with the trolls? But I got attacked the other day, and it seemed like maybe it was like by a bot. I'm not 100% sure what happened there either. It's hard to tell if these are real people or if it's literally the does anyone know how to translate? Can anyone translate some of the Arabic going on? You guys please just only use English in the chat. I don't want to accidentally like block somebody because I assume that they're saying something or not, but I have a feeling it is negative stuff because YouTube keeps holding the messages for my approval, which I think means that they're saying something bad. Is new journey getting your mind and your purpose of life, meaning and understanding? Is it making you feel good about you? Yeah, it's making me feel amazing. I mean, physically, I feel so. I can't even explain. Like anything. Not only did it heal everything that I knew that was wrong with my body, but like I've gone to another level where I think it's healed things I didn't even know that was wrong, or just de-aged me, or what. I don't know. It's tempting sometimes to just, like, I'm probably gonna, at some point I think I'm gonna shave my face again just to see what I look like now, because I feel so much younger. What are things you plan on doing while I'm in Oregon, and will you be going up to Washington after? I was thinking about going up to Washington after. I don't really, like I said, I don't really make a lot of plans right now. I wanted some nature, and I had this like intense feeling that I needed to get out of LA. And this was a straight shot, so I decided to come check it out. I got a couple friends up here, so it was there's no regrets so far. I'm trying to, trying to get myself first to Hawaii, and then from there I'm trying to get to Asia to start a new life over there. Yeah, but I mean, that's just a trajectory, it wasn't so long ago I was headed to Mexico, so I don't really know what's going to happen, but that's kind of like my feeling of like where I'm being called to, and where I think I can expand most of my experiences with what interests me the most right now. And yeah, it's pretty much what's going on. Oh man, I think that we definitely do have, we're getting bot attacks. You guys, that's so weird. I wonder what I did to cause that. My beautiful friend passed away this morning from long-term illness. She was young. People like this stuff happens, and shitty people still exist. It just makes me question a lot. Well, Joey, it's important to just remember that, I mean, I guess I can't speak for everyone's beliefs or whatever, but like, I, in myself, know 100% reincarnation is real, and karma is inescapable. So, you know, you don't necessarily, in my view, it's not necessarily something to be sad about when somebody passed, because they're being released from this world of suffering. And when shitty people still exist, just remember you don't actually know what their existence is like, what their next life's going to be like, anything like that. So, you know, it's best to just trust that the universe is serving up a big dose of divinity to everybody that it can, and the process is not always understandable through the scope of perception, because we see through our own eyes, and we can't see everyone else's experiences and everything that's ever happened in their lives, or know anything that's happened in their past lives, or know what will happen in their future lives. So I think personally that it's best to just trust the universe. I'm so sorry to hear about your friend. I'm sure you'll miss her a lot. There's rhythm and reason, but it's rhythm and reason that is beyond the human scope to see or understand. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know why the bots are so. Let's see, Ruski. I guess that's Allah. I don't understand the last word. My Russian's a little rusty. Please, if you can, use English in the chat. It's Yanna Penal. I think I've told you before, I see the change and is refreshing from live me days. Oh, that's been a long time, but yes, way changed. Proud of your journey and doing great. Keep positive mind, things will come together. It's quite the, it's amazing how things can just flip around like that. I mean, it's just wild. I don't know how to explain it to you. It's so much. Melissa, welcome. Ron von Bergen, do you believe in the law of attraction? I don't know exactly what the law of attraction is, but it sounds like something I believe in. Now, you guys, I just hit 10% battery. I'm going to have to cut this short soon because we're obviously under attack of some sort. In the chat, I don't know if everyone's seeing it all because we're like holding a lot of the comments for review because I turned that feature on. It seems to be a good move. But it sounds a lot like manifestation, and that certainly seems to be real. I think you could break that down on both a spiritual but also a mathematical level as well. You know, like every time, like, that's like actually a whole topic in itself. I don't know if I have time with 10% battery to tackle that one, but if you can remind me another day, we can definitely go down that path. Joey Ciulia, what were some outer world experiences I've had before? If you've not watched all the recordings, I would catch up on those. I've narrated about a lot of those. I also don't have time with the 10% of battery that I have right now, because I last time was trying to block when my phone died, and they just got to like run amok in my chat for 5 minutes, which was problematic. You gotta go. Remember, you're jealous of them. Don't be jealous of nothing. If you want it, you can do it. You're gonna do it even if it's for a week here or there. A whole wife and fur mom. I don't get time out like, oh, that's so awesome. Yeah, do that. It's nice. It's nice. Coax, if you could translate for me, I would like to know who was and who was not. There's been a large amount of action in Acrylic right now, and yesterday or the day before there was a bot or maybe just a disgruntled person that typed really, really fast and weird. Mentioned something about Ukraine before getting extremely indignant. Not sure why I've attracted this attention, but I would love to know, honestly, if anyone is understanding everything I'm saying. I can read a little bit of Russian and speak a little bit, but it's not enough to really understand. I'm from California originally. Google the 12 laws of the universe. I will definitely do that. It was a big pleasure being able to talk to you. Glad to have you here, Ron. I hope you'll come again another day. You've had some very insightful questions, and it's always good. No problem, Bruce. Hopefully the bots find something better to do. Well, you know, that's the concern about bots, is that they don't have anything better to do because they're just programmed to be persistent and annoying. I'm going to assume that I have something I said somewhere along the way has angered some organization with the resources to send chatbots after social media influencers, if that is even what I would be considered, but it is what it is. Having a mod in chat to get rid of bots, yeah, that's a good idea. I should have a mod. He's just asking if Russians are in the chat. No worries. Okay, cool. We don't know if they're real Russians or if they're Russian chatbots, but we are trying to figure it out. I hope I didn't block anyone who was saying nothing bad, but it was, the comments were getting held by YouTube for my review, and I assumed the worst. I feel really bad if I blocked anyone that wasn't saying something negative or whatever. The rise of bots mean you are getting bigger like a real blogger. I hope so. It's catching on. It's catching on. What did I eat today? I have not yet eaten today. Oh, that's an interesting concept. I would say that the vast majority of Americans especially in the younger age group, use cannabis. It's actually quite a lot. It's quite popular even in older age groups as well. But I would say it's like in the way high levels for younger generations, like 80 or 90%. So, and I know it's not legal in Russia because I have a friend that got arrested for having like the smallest little bit of hash in their bag that they didn't even know that was in there. So apparently they're also really good at finding stuff in Russia. But I'll tell you what, I mean, they consume, I would think that it should be legal in Russia, I don't know. That's just my opinion. I've never been to Russia. But speaking of Russia, I am so excited to watch this Tucker Carlson interview with Putin. I think that that's just, something that the world needed to happen. I don't know how it's going to go or what he's going to say, but the West needs to hear that interview. I don't know if it started yet. I'm hoping to watch it when it starts. But I would suggest that everybody, no matter where you're from the States, from Russia, from Europe, from Asia, anywhere in the world, I think Tucker Carlson interviewing Putin is going to be a very, very important mix. But might not be good to mix pot with vodka. Perhaps not, but that's neither here nor there. I also think it's, I was going to say something that is whatever. Oh, I still got 17% battery. I thought it was 10%, but I actually got 10%. You have decriminalization of Neidan. Oh, that's awesome. You can have 6 grams. Well, you can. Oh, but in reality, if you have at least 1 gram, you'll be in jail for the rest of your life. Well, here's the small wins. I don't know. I mean, it's at least it's starting to decriminalize, even if it's not reality in effect. Sorry to hear that. Sounds like a concerning situation. But yeah, that's tough. Hey, Bruce, what's up, Adele? Welcome. Joey says, are you in favor of legalizing weed everywhere? I'm in favor of having as little laws as possible, especially pertaining to anything that nature provides. I think it would be great if we had about 10 or 20 laws in the world, period. Just kept it down to the really important stuff. Don't kill, don't steal, don't rape, don't touch children, things like that. And that we just did out with every other unnecessary law and let, humanity have a free market of thought. And just let things flow like they naturally do. Balance is achieved when you let nature do what it wants to do. Do you know what I'm saying? There's no anything that the government especially does, they make worse. They don't do anything positive. They don't fix any problems. Laws have never really been effective. The manipulation of anything is literally a stake. I barely, like they need like maybe 10, we need like about 10 laws, and those laws should be enforced like the, intensely enforced. Especially don't think we need any laws that either can't or won't be enforced. That's just like some kind of slavery, or them saying that, if they want you, they can take you, because they just make so many laws that everyone's breaking some law. Nobody's like 100% law abiding, because they have like, hundreds of books full of penal codes, for example, in the United States. So it's like there's no way to actually follow the law to a T. Like what they should actually do is pick a couple really important ones, enforce the hell out of those, and call it a day. Let life flow. You know what I'm saying? Breathe it, Dilby. What's my opinion on veganism? I respect it. Like, I respect people that don't want to hurt animals, even, for their own sustenance. I've found that, like, when I take a vegetarian or vegan-based diet, I start getting pain in my body and stuff that I don't have when I'm on like a carnivore-based diet. And also I plants have emotions and feelings and things as well. I don't think just animals have those. Also plants, especially trees and things, they're very long-lived comparatively, a lot of them, which seems like a little bit of a travesty if you're hurting plants also. But
perfect. All right. Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Oh no, I did right before. Okay.
what did he say about damaging a vehicle? I didn't hear that. Cop just came in here and said something about damaging vehicles. But to each their own. I think everyone should just do what they feel. Also, too, like, if you eat an avocado, you're responsible for like 10,000 deaths of ground squirrels every year. If you buy a side of beef, you're responsible for one cow, and that cow will last you a year or two. So, it's all about how you do something. If you go and eat a hamburger that's like 10 different cows, 20 different cows, 100 different cows ground together, that's going to be like a bigger bomb. Anyways, you guys, I gotta go. They're closing the place that I'm in. Sorry I didn't get to all the questions. I gotta also make sure that they're not like towing cars out front or something, because they mentioned something about that. But listen, much love, everybody. I will see you on the next stream. Hopefully it won't be that long. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube, and also follow my Telegram, Bruce Venture Live, and my @ name is Bruce Conda. All right, audio.